My sister stayed quiet during dinner until one drunken comment destroyed our entire family, forever. I was scraping cold mashed potatoes into the trash when my sister laughed from the dining table and said, "At least he lied better to you than he did to me." Nobody spoke after that. My mother froze with a wine glass halfway to her mouth, and my husband looked down at his plate like he already knew something terrible had finally arrived. It was my father's birthday dinner. There were paper decorations taped around the kitchen doorway, and somebody had left old jazz music playing from a phone speaker near the sink. I remember every stupid detail because my brain wouldn't let me focus on anything else after what she said. I asked her what she meant. She stared at me for a second too long. Her face was red from drinking, but suddenly she looked scared too. My husband quietly said her name under his breath. That was enough. I think part of me understood before either of them admitted anything. My hands went numb. I could barely feel the fork I was holding. My sister started crying first. Not dramatic crying, just embarrassed crying. She kept wiping her nose with a napkin while my mother asked over and over what was happening. Finally, my husband admitted they had crossed boundaries 8 months earlier. That phrase still makes me sick. Crossed boundaries meant sleeping together in cheap hotels while I worked late shifts at the dental office. Crossed boundaries meant texting each other during family holidays while I sat between them on the couch. Crossed boundaries meant my younger sister listening to me cry about my marriage while secretly helping destroy it. I walked outside before anyone finished talking. It was cold enough that I could see my breath. I sat inside my car in my parents' driveway for almost an hour because I honestly couldn't process what humiliation was supposed to feel like physically. The worst part wasn't even the affair itself. It was realizing how many moments suddenly made sense. My husband volunteering to pick my sister up from work. The private jokes between them. The weird tension anytime I entered a room unexpectedly. Last spring, I caught him deleting messages, and he convinced me I was paranoid and controlling. I apologized to him for weeks after that. Around midnight, my mother came outside wearing slippers and my father's oversized sweater. She knocked softly on my car window like I was a stranger. I rolled the window down, and she asked me to come back inside because families survive hard things. I remember feeling angry at her for saying families instead of me. I asked whether everybody else already knew. She hesitated. That hesitation answered everything. Apparently, my father found out 2 months ago after seeing them together at a restaurant near his office. My mother learned shortly after. My sister begged them not to tell me because she said it had already ended and she didn't want to ruin my marriage. So every Sunday dinner, every birthday, every family group photo since then happened while everybody watched me act normal. I drove home alone around 2 a.m. My husband was already there waiting on the porch because my father drove him back earlier. He tried following me inside while explaining how unhappy and disconnected he had felt recently. I asked him whether he ever looked at me and felt guilty. He answered too slowly. That's the part replaying in my head tonight while I sit awake folding laundry I probably don't even need to fold. The affair feels horrible, obviously, but the silence around it feels worse somehow. I don't know what hurts more right now, losing my husband or realizing my family practiced lying to my face together.